What's up everybody, my name is Colin Edge. Thank you so much for being here at C3 Small Group Night. Basically what this is we're going to give you a small message, just kind of a nugget of something to think about, and give you a chance to get together with a small group of other guys and gals, Christian guys and gals, and talk about what you've heard. And so we wanted to give you an example of that, and we'll start every small group night just like this, with a video, just to kind of get your wheels turning, and then you can get together and talk with your friends about it. So this is an example here, what we're about to do about, you know, just what a small group is and what it means to get together and talk about God and talk about the message. So what do you guys think when you hear the word discipleship?
When I think about discipleship, you know, what jumps out at me is just lifestyle. You know, living what you say you believe.
The definition of disciple, I guess Andy looked it up for us earlier, was one who accepts and assists in spreading the doctrine of another. So whose doctrine are we following?
When we think about following whose doctrine, you know, it's no wonder that us young people are having a hard time of trying to define what it truly means to be a disciple. Because a lot of our models aren't the greatest models to be following.
I think a very practical, very necessary part of being a disciple is just really reading the Bible. And though we fall short, that's still our example that we follow. And that's what it means to be a disciple, is just to follow. What do you think about that, Andy?
I think it's really interesting because a lot of people are unaware that whether they're a disciple of Christ, they're still a disciple of something. We live in a generation where a lot of people are under the impression that they're being their own person, that they're being their own man, and I'm just going to do me, and I'm doing this, I'm discovering that. But what they don't realize is that by doing that influence, they are being discipled by something.
What I'm hearing is discipleship is, you know, what's influencing you.
I want to introduce Nelson Chang, Pastor, Minister, Reverend Nelson, who is Bishop Nelson, and he's going to give you the message today, and he's going to break this down a little bit more for you. So take it away, Nelson.
Good evening, y'all. We are here live tonight at McKinney C3 Small Groups, and I just want to welcome y'all. Tonight we are going to focus on a topic that is dear to my heart. It is about discipleship. It's what Jesus called us to be, is to be disciples, and not just to be disciples, but to make disciples also. And so, to start out, you know, let's go ahead and define what discipleship means. In the Greek, discipleship means a learner. It's someone who wants to learn. It's someone who's willing to take on, you know, doctrines and beliefs of something. And in this case, we're talking about Jesus Christ. That's who we're following. That's what it's all about. Webster's dictionary defines discipleship as one who accepts the doctrine of another and assists in spreading that doctrine. And of course, it goes back to Jesus. We're here to learn about Christ. We're here to learn what this Bible is all about. We're here to become disciples. And why discipleship is such a heavy topic for me is because I believe that discipleship is truly a life-changing decision. It's not something that you go into you know, half-heartedly. It's not a situation where you're 1 foot in and you're 1 foot out. Discipleship is all in. You know, it's about drowning in this thing called Christ. You see, a student wants to know what the teacher knows. You know, y'all have been in school, and so there's a lot of times when we go to school and there's a subject that, you know, we don't really love. You know, we are there just to get the A in the class, right? We're there, we're learning what the teacher learns, and when the week is over and we take the test, that knowledge pretty much is out of our head. But rather than a student, a disciple, on the other hand, is actually doing this thing, is living this thing. We're there, we're learning what the teacher is telling us to learn, absolutely. But then we're going after that and we're actually living it out. We're actually doing this thing. We're walking it out. That's what the whole gist of discipleship is all about. We're here to do what the Father did. And that brings us to the next topic, which is the biblical example of discipleship, and that's found in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 1, and that says, "Follow my example as I follow the example of Christ." That's Paul talking to the Corinthian church. That's Paul saying, hey, hey y'all, I'm going after Christ. Do you want to go after Christ? If you want to go after Christ, then follow me, because I'm going after Christ. Let me be an example to you, because Christ was my example. This thing called Christianity is powerful. It's not based on the world. This is based on something that is considered the real truth. This ain't about Krishna. This ain't about Rastafarian. This is about Jesus Christ. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about, is being a disciple of Christ. And when we become disciples of Christ, what's going to happen is people will start following us just because we're following Christ. It's a life-changing decision. It's a life-changing aspect of the whole world. We can change the world, y'all. You can change the world. And so next week we are going to discuss this a little bit more, but tonight we want you to focus on these topics and how discipleship is affecting your life. You know, how are you living this out? You know, I'd like to challenge you tonight, you know, how can you follow Christ? How can you follow Christ in your everyday, while you're at work, while you're at school, you know, whatever it is that you're doing? Let's figure it out, y'all.
Discipleship in a nutshell to me would be, how do I take what's in this Bible and make it a reality in my life where I'm actually living it?
It's not always easy. I think you have to know from the moment you make the decision that it's not something you're going to always feel like doing.
If you don't make that conscious decision every day to like, hey, I'm going to be a disciple of Christ, then you're not in that right mindset. You didn't prepare yourself to go and do that, so you're going to go and, like, you know, let anything else you want to kind of influence your outflow.
When you follow Christ and really learn to become a disciple in your own life, you'll find that others will follow you as you follow Christ. And so this week we're talking about what it means to be a disciple and following Him. But in the next session we're going to talk about how others will follow you. You should have people under you that you're bringing up. And so we'll talk about that more. Just want to get y'all all excited about it.